This is the Mariners Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Seattle Mariners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What just happened? What just happened? Okay. So many emotions running through. The Mariners win the series. They win this game. Victor Robles with catch of the year easily. Chris, anything more than that?
No, pretty boring game. You like to see a little more excitement. Just a really routine game with a routine fly ball to end it. It's fun to see. By the way, I was just going to say real quick, Minnie's going to have to podcast with us for a little bit.
Yes, that's fine.
Because the screams that I let out scared the ever-loving crap out of her. Thankfully, didn't scare the actual crap out of her because, I don't want to pick that stuff up. But I don't think I can do this, Anders.
Jeez,
I don't think I can handle this.
Wow. Is that the greatest catch in Seattle Mariners history?
That's the greatest catch in Seattle Mariners history. It's not the most impressive catch in Seattle Mariners history, but when you consider the situation, when you consider the context, and then when you consider how quickly he gets up with that baseball, by the way, horrible base running mistake from that guy. Where are you going? Doing? It's a two-run game. Why are you
not even winning? What?
I'm super happy. I'm super happy that he screwed up. This is phenomenal. This is so fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I expect us to get, even on a Saturday afternoon when there's a certain football game being played right now, I expect us to have a pretty massive crowd, and I get it because your Seattle Mariners are now 2 games in front of the Houston Astros and technically 3.
Because they own the tiebreaker now no matter what happens tomorrow.
No matter what happens tomorrow.
Such a big win. This is a massive win. I think if you drop this one and then go into Sunday needing to win, I feel really iffy about those prospects, especially how today played out. George Kirby was phenomenal. You get some awesome offensive production, great at-bats up and down the lineup today. Some questionable bullpen decisions. We will definitely get there. Definitely will. But I'm just going to zoom out for just a second because in my eyes, right now, this is officially the changing of the guard in the American League West. I think the Mariners are officially now the big boys. Okay. And I realize it's not in the playoffs and you kind of have to beat them into playoffs to do it. But the Houston Astros might not go to the playoffs, guys.
No.
This might have just been the slaying of the dragon, and now you are the big boys. That's what it feels like to me. And that catch at the end just sealed one of the best Mariners games I've ever watched in terms of just pure adrenaline and just big moments and everything. So, oh man, let's start with the start. George Kirby, he was him today. He was him. That's all I can say.
And I talked to Anders a little bit about this over text message in our group chat that I wanted to bring this up. George Kirby's statistics are not great. He came into this one with an ERA of 4.4, something along those lines. Definitely not what Seattle Mariners were signing up for to begin the year, right? What George Kirby has done with basically having to reinvent himself in 2025 is incredibly impressive, guys. His arm slot, and Angie Mentic was one of the first people on this. Credit to her for talking about this. His arm slot has dropped 3 degrees, and that's it's 5
or 6.
It's a huge amount of in every inch that drops there. And let's be mature, guys. It's big. It's much harder, and especially somebody who relies on throwing strikes as much as George Kirby has in the past. He's become stuff over command.
Yes,
the stuff is the reason why that George Kirby has been so freaking good over these last 2 starts. And I know he doesn't generate a ton of swings and misses today, 7. He was in command of everything. Yeah, 2 of the hits shouldn't have been hits. Yeah. Just should not have been hits. And I know. It's just, it's so impressive to see what he's done. And by the way, if the Seattle, thank you, Agent Michael Scarn. Every inch.
Don't mention it. Don't mention it. We don't need it for the audio listeners.
Sorry, Zipix. If the Seattle Mariners play the Houston Astros in the postseason, you're certainly starting George Kirby.
Yeah,
that guy dominates the Houston Astros. Dominates Houston. It was a terrific effort. Had no issue pulling him, by the way. 6 innings, 100 pitches, up by 6 runs. You go to the bullpen. That's absolutely the right call by Daniel Wilson. We'll talk about some other calls.
Yeah, let's go through that sequence because I think you said it best about George. He was just awesome tonight. And, really quick on him before we move on. I think this opens up the discussion once again for the playoff rotation in terms of a 3-man. And I think you're in the moment where I think if you're pitching at home, it's Luis Castillo. And if you're pitching on the road, it's George Kirby. To me, that's how I would play it at this point. Yeah. Maybe you play a little matchup base, but hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's a good problem to have.
Some of this is obviously going to depend on Brian Wu, right? Like
that's actually 100% true. Yes.
Yeah. And for those who missed it, by the way, they announced that he has, I believe they said, a minor pectoral strain.
Yeah, and he's day to day. They don't know if they're putting him on the IL yet.
We're all day to day, to be fair, and I don't believe the Seattle Mariners when they talk about injuries whatsoever.
Yeah,
but this is also why being that number 2 seed is going to be massive.
Yep.
Because you have a chance to get Brian Wu at a much better version of himself at the very least, assuming that this is actually minor. And again, don't believe anything you ever hear about injuries.
Yeah. So let's talk about after George Kirby. He gets through 6, pretty dominant. You go to the 7th, and honestly, I was okay with Vargas to start the inning. I put this out on Twitter. I was like, hey, you're up 6-0. He's a guy that induces a lot of soft contact, get some quick outs, and get your 9 outs now. The fact that he loaded the bases with the bottom of the order and then was allowed to face the top of the order with the bases loaded, that's the biggest issue for me. It wasn't that you decided to use him in the 7th inning. It was not having anyone ready because it's not like they could just flip the switch. They had Bizzardo warming after he hits Cam Smith to load the bases. He can't just run right out there right away, especially after pitching for 2 straight days. The issue was not having anyone ready when he got those 2 first guys on. So that was my issue. I don't know how you evaluate that.
100,000%, as boring as it is, completely agree with you because you're up 6-0. That's the time to use your 5th or 6th best reliever, right? And you're facing the bottom of the order. This was a reminder that Carlos Vargas can't be a high leverage guy for you, right? Nope. And I will point out, as some of you brought up, this was a very Houston homer, homer indeed.
It's an out in 27 ballparks.
27 parks. The two of the 3 are janky left fields, and then Toronto's just kind of a little short porch there. Yeah. It's also a pitch, though, that you're asking for a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah, you are.
94 on the inner part of the plate.
And they put it out. Pena hits fastballs really well.
Yeah, he does. And the issue, though, is not the homer. It's what happened before the homer, right? Yes. And this is where my biggest issue was, if you are going to have Eduardo Bizzardo available, which, by the way, we can talk about, I think it's a mistake. I thought after throwing that many pitches and that many innings, he was clearly not nearly himself. The fact that he got out of that without giving up a run is crazy. Why not have Bizzardo get that one out? And then you can go to a Hancock or a Luke Jackson or a Caleb Ferguson or a Brash, right? We got to talk about that too. I mean, is that confidence in Eduardo Bizzardo, or is that no confidence in Matt Brash? That's my ultimate question. It's probably both, but one of them has to be more than the other. One of them, and I think it's actually confidence in Bizzardo because of how good he looked, and I think Goldsmith brought it up, against that pocket of hitters. He looked so good there. My counterpoint to that would be those hitters saw Bizzardo yesterday.
Yes.
It's really interesting that Matt Brash isn't used in this. Now, some of that also has to be like, you know what? Mooney's 100% available now. We know he can't pitch on Sunday. We need to have Brash for the 9th inning.
That's fair.
We need him tomorrow. But boy, oh boy, that a game that should not have been close because you were the better team for overwhelming majority of it. ends up being close. On the other side of the spectrum, just real quick, that's also why you build 6-0 leads. That's also why it's important to tack on when you have these type of leads, because a lot of times a grand slam basically eliminates you from having a chance to win.
Right.
A grand slam, and they still needed 2 more runs. Yeah. So there's my shiny optimism from all of that.
I mean, and I completely agree with that. Let's talk about the offense, because at the end of the day, that's kind of what won you this game is your offense and what they did earlier in the game. So we'll get to that after some love to our sponsors here. Just a quick thank you to everyone who's tuning in. We're the Mariners Postcast. Anderson Hurst, Christopher Crawford to my left. We're talking Mariner baseball. We go live after every single Mariner game. If you're here new, please like the video. Please subscribe. We're happy to kind of break down the Mariners game that was. And boy, this was a good one. We'll be right back after a couple messages from our sponsors for today. Chris, can you actually do yours first? Because
sure.
I didn't pull mine up real quick.
You know what? That's fine, because you know what? I was relying on you pulling one up as well. But I'll tell you right now that this episode is brought to you by Zippix. And what I can tell you about Zippix is that this episode is brought to you by them. And whether you're looking for a nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine enthused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings in the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work your way to reduce your dependence on vaping. Available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligram and 3 milligram nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. I know a lot of people like to smoke when they get nervous. When you start to feel
antsy, was nervous today.
Oh my gosh. Would today be a day that if you are a smoker, that it's pretty hard to not take one of them out of the carton? Is that what they call them? Yeah, the carton.
Yeah.
Why not, instead of that, get a toothpick that can help satisfy that nicotine craving, and you're not hurting yourself. You're not hurting others around you. There's no such thing as a secondhand toothpick injury or somebody being sick because of a secondhand toothpick stuff. Unless you stab someone, do not stab someone with Zippix. But do make sure that you use code locked on when you order, because you can get 10% off your first order. You must be 21 or older to order, and there is a warning: nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's ZippixToothpicks.com, promo code locked on. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix toothpicks.
Oh, this episode's also brought to you by PrizePicks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right means cashing in. With football back, PrizePicks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds. It's super simple. If you're someone that can be prone to maybe gambling a little too much, PrizePicks is perfect, because you can still have the fun and the rush of having a little more juice on the game without the risk of losing a ton of money at the same time. So I highly recommend it. It's like a daily fantasy lineup. You can choose more or less for a bunch of different stuff: football season, baseball season, however you want to do it. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5-hour energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot brings the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients, with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. What I love the most is how portable they are. Big taste, tiny shot. You can get it anywhere and take it anywhere and get that boost when you need it. It's so much better than coffee, guys. Like, you don't get that acidic feeling in your stomach, and I'm someone who gets sensitive to that kind of stuff. You just get a quick little shot of 5-hour energy. Tastes good, much healthier, no crash. There's no downside to it. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-hour energy shots. Get the favorites you love, or be bold and try something new in store or online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. Welcome back to the Mariners Postcast. Anderson Hurst, Christopher Crawford with you. Man, this is probably one of the most fun games to break down with you guys that we have done. If you are new, though, 648 with us in the stream today. Really appreciate all y'all hanging out with us. This is an awesome community. Come and hang out every single day after the Mariners game. We like to think it's the best place to find a Mariners post-game show. So myself, Christopher Crawford, like to break down what you just saw. And boy, Chris Crawford, we just saw one of the best Mariner games of the year. Victor Olbas, an awesome catch. George Kirby, just dominant. But let's talk about the offense. So, what can you say? I'm just going to open it up to you. What do you think about the offense today? How'd they look?
Really good at bats.
Yes.
Really good at bats for the overwhelming majority of the game. Boy, that 6th run ends up being huge. Oh. And boy, it's fun to see Polanco get another double, even though it was self-inflicted. And I do believe that was Jake Myers who made that mistake. It was
same guy who had the base running error.
I will tell you, there is a little bit of a difference between that type of dive and a dive when Randy makes it. You're kind of trying to save the game, right? Yeah. In that situation, compared to where Randy's dive was like in the first inning and it was a no-score game. So a little bit of break there, but it's still a benefit for the Seattle Mariners. There's so many guys who have good days today. Honestly, outside of the very top of the order and the very bottom of the order, and I know Crawford ends up drawing a walk, everybody was good today. Yeah. Julio, that walk in the first inning, I think is massive because it keeps the inning going. He steals second base, and then that double from Suarez, who looks phenomenal now.
Dare I say back? Back?
He looks so much better swinging the stick right now. I was actually surprised that ball wouldn't have gone out in any parks, by the way, the double that he hits into center field, because maybe somewhere that could have gone out, but nope. Josh Naylor had one of the best at-bats of the year. By the way, the sexiest thing a person can do is bat flip a bases-loaded walk. It is absolutely the number one turn on in any relationship is just bat flip a walk. It is beautiful. It is that was such a good at-bat. And, oh, by the way, there's a new record holder for the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Cal Raleigh now has 57 home runs, the first time anyone has ever said that about a Seattle Mariner in one season. Just put in perspective how awesome that is.
You can't. We could do a 45-minute show and we could not put it into perspective, guys. This is such a special thing. I believe that was the first time he's gone oppo as a right-handed hitter as well. I could be wrong there. But that's a tough place to go oppo. Right field is not the place where you usually see the ding-dongs in Houston. And just a terrific swing on that bat. And he's still drawing the walks. He's still patient. Even in the strikeout in the first inning, he works a 3-ball count. He's such a special baseball player, and he's the MVP. He's the MVP. I know Aaron Judge had another monster game today. He's great. Cal Raleigh is the MVP of the American League. And the Seattle Mariners, where they are without this guy. Real quick, because I know I'll forget it. Goldsmith made another great point today about Jorge Polanco. The Houston Astros wanted Jorge Polanco.
They almost
wanted him really bad. And the New York Yankees wanted Jorge Polanco. But ultimately, Seattle upped their offer, and he comes back, and no one was excited about it, and I understand why. He was terrible last year. Where the hell are the Seattle Mariners without Jorge Polanco? Where the hell are they? Because Jorge Polanco has been such a stabilizing force, minus 1 month. 1 month in this offensive lineup, and I just don't think you can say enough good things. My unsung hero, by the way, is Julio because of 3 things. Number 1, the walk, the hit that also scores a run that puts you up 6-0. Also, on that catch from Robles, and I just watched it again, Julio does the right thing and lets Polanco take control of, Robles take control of that baseball. Julio was not going to get to that. There's not many that he's not going to get to, but he let the right fielder make that play. And that's the reason why you end up winning this game, because that ball would have dropped, 2 runs would have scored. Everyone is sad. I don't think I would have even shown up, Anders. I'm just letting you know. I honestly think I would have made something up about I've got gout or something like that and let you go solo, because I don't think I could take it.
Yeah.
But Julio Rodriguez played a fantastic baseball game today. A bunch of people did, but that one might get lost in the shuffle from everybody else.
I'm going to go unsung moment, and it's a whole inning. It's the top of the 5th inning for the Seattle Mariners.
Oh, okay, great.
Let's roll through this because it was 3-0 at that point. It's still kind of hanging in the balance. It seemed like Randy Rosarena grounds out. Cal Raleigh works the walk. Julio singles right after that. Gino strikes out. So you got first and second, 2 outs. That's when Jorge hits the single. Cal Raleigh to third. He doesn't get waived. He actually originally does get waived, but it was a good decision by Negrelli to stop him.
Yeah.
Because then you got the bases loaded for Josh Naylor, and he works, like you said, probably the at-bat of the year, just in terms of and that's what chases Valdez, gets you up to 4-0. And then lost in it all is the pinch hit decision by Dan Wilson. Love
Great
this.
call.
To
Great
go
call.
to Dom Canzone and singles home, what was it? Julio Rodriguez at that point to make it 5-0. That, in my head, is what won you this game. Like, literally it did too, because like 5 runs versus 4 is what Houston ends up getting. But still, those 2 runs were so big at that point in the game. So big.
Massive. You felt so much more comfortable, and that allows, you're not the goal is not to give up a grand slam, the most obvious point ever, but like that allows that not to mean as much.
Exactly.
It drove us nuts when it happened, but it's still like you're still winning. You're still not only winning, you're winning by 2 runs. Yep. The one moment that I would say is just a little bit bigger, but I love that call, especially the Gabe Spire pitches to
okay. Yeah, good call. Good call.
Oh my God. And the scream that I let out,
dude.
For those of you old enough to remember the Howard Dean scream, it was absolutely a Howard Dean. I'm not going to do it now because she'll get scared again. But that's big boy pitching right there. That is big boy pitching, and you're going to have to rely on him, I think, tomorrow too. Gabe Spire's got to be high leverage for you.
I'm glad the Mariners didn't sign Christian Walker.
I get it.
They wouldn't have Josh Naylor right now.
No, but you would have probably. And you know what? You wouldn't have Josh Naylor at all because there's no way they would have been.
No, that's my point. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. It's I still like Christian Walker, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying entirely. Yeah. And Safeco would have been a tough place for him, I don't think. Yeah. And it's Safeco today. When you're in first place, it's Safeco.
Well, speaking of anything else to add? Sorry.
I just wanted to add, how nice is it? I want them to win tomorrow so freaking bad. Freaking bad. I don't know if I've wanted a sweep more in my life.
Yeah.
How nice is it, though, that you are in total control no matter what happens tomorrow? Yes. Nothing can take away that control. Not a thing. But if you want to kill him, if you want to step on that neck, you win tomorrow and it's over. Vince Carter, it's over.
It's over.
It's done.
And I think you pointed this out right before we went live. This isn't just a massive series win for the Mariners.
Yes.
This is a devastating series loss for the Houston Astros. They are not in a playoff position right now, guys.
Nope.
The Cleveland Guardians hold the 3rd wild card now. And they're in a dogfight just to make the playoffs. And even if they do win tomorrow and if they, go on a heater, if the Mariners are tied with the Astros come the end of the season, the Mariners own the tiebreaker no matter what. This is such a huge win. That Robles catch, man. I just want to go back to that because
oh my God,
it's what are the difference of outcomes if he doesn't get to that? That's a 2-run, at least a 2-run.
I have to think so. And what if that ball gets by him?
Yeah.
What if that ball gets by him?
Might be game over.
It might be. Well, yeah. It's just such a clutch play, and it's why Victor Robles has to be in the lineup.
Yeah,
it's why he has to be in the lineup.
And
the range that guy shows in right field is just incredible.
And he's good offensively today too. He had was it 1 hit or 2 hits? I can't remember, but he at least got on base once.
He got on base once. He swung the bat totally fine for a bottom of the order hitter.
Absolutely,
for a bottom of the order hitter, he has been more than adequate with the stick, and he saved your banking today. He saved your absolute bacon today. He also had a big sack fly today too. So
that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
I want to say one quick thing before we get out of here.
Sure.
I've said this the last 4 or 5 episodes. We've been as hard on Dan Wilson as anyone.
Sure.
And even today, there were some decisions that were not great. And the bullpen, the management was a little suspect in some situations.
Sure.
These guys look ready to flip and play this weekend. Yep. And they look locked. I keep wanting to swear. Locked the F in.
They do.
And that is a huge testament to the manager. I'm gonna rip him when they don't look ready to play. But
Yeah.
when they do, like they do today, they know how big this series is. And the moment doesn't look too big for them. That screen by Gabe Spire, that just locked in laser focusedness by George Kirby. Julio with a little dialed down, like, hey, let's go kind of vibe.
Sure.
I love it all right now. I love how these guys are playing baseball.
There's no doubt about it. And, there's some people who will say, well, how much are you really crediting the manager for grown men being ready to play their sports and paying? It matters. It matters, man. It's hard to. The big thing for me is it's not like I've wanted to see this team loose. I don't want to. That was the big thing for me.
Sure.
You got to have focus. You got to be intense, but you can't let the moment be too big for you.
Correct.
And you know what? I'll give some of that credit to Hollander and DePoto because there's nobody on this roster that you could even kind of say shrinks in the big moment. Not a single one. And that has a lot to do with the guys that they brought in here. So it's credit all around. Everything deserves credit. I'm willing to give credit to everyone but one person. And that one person knows who he is. It's in spite of him. But Dan Wilson has done a phenomenal job on this road trip. Phenomenal. And he deserves all the credit in the world.
And, we talk about Cal's record-breaking home run. He is also a leader that...
No doubt.
You need player leaders as well, not just the manager. It goes down the entire pecking order. So
no doubt.
I just want to sing the praises because, man, I was a little bit worried that the guys would come in either a little too loose, kind of trying to be like, hey, it's just another series. They know it's not just another series. Or a little too, big. The moment's too big for them. They're, too hyped. You know what I mean? They are playing that line perfectly right now.
It's awesome. It's just awesome. And, it just sets up such a fun last week. Such a fun last week that, is there part of me that wonders how the hell is this going to go wrong? Yeah, of course. That's
We're Mariners fans. We're used to it.
Being a Seattle Mariner fan. But because of what you did in Kansas City and because of what you've done over these last two games, there'll be no one to blame but ourselves. Not a single thing. And that is a very nice place to be.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Mariners win this one. They win the series. Let's go get the sweep tomorrow. As you said, let's stomp on their necks. Let's end the dynasty. End it. Okay. You have a chance to do that. Like we said, it's not just a big win for the Mariners. You could literally end the Houston Astros dynasty. So let's do that tomorrow. And I feel like they're in the right mindset to go do that. Now, it's nice to know that you don't exactly have to. Right? No. You've already won the series. You did the job that you needed to do. You're playing with house money tomorrow. Let's go make the most of it, all right? Last word, Chris Crawford.
George Costanza was always my least favorite Seinfeld character, so let's go beat up on Jason Alexander.
All right, remember Sunday Night Baseball tomorrow night, guys. We'll talk to you then. Have a good one. Go Mariners. Massive win. Like the video. Subscribe. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. See you.